Hello, grade 12s. Welcome back to the channel, Science Therapy, hosted by the one and only science therapist, Abudiwa Sos Ugobela Wemets. And without any further ado, let's look at this question that we have here. Okay, so we have question 9 on optimization calculus, and it says the diagram below represents a printed poster. Rectangle ABCD is the part on which the text is printed. The shaded area ABCD is 432 centimeter cube and AD is X centimeter. ABCD is 4 centimeter from the left and right edges of the page and 3 centimeter from top and bottom of the page. So this is what we are given here. And then as we can see here, 4 centimeter from the left and right, and then 3 centimeter top and bottom. So that's what they said there. So 9.1 says, show that the total area of the page is given by AX. So area in terms of X is equals to that. So now let's start. We are given the area of ABC, D, area of ABCD, and then we know since it's a rectangle, the area of the rectangle is represented by length times breadth. Now, if we can take our length as a length AD, this is our X, and then our breadth would have to be AB or DC. So in this case, let's just look at AB, and then note that we don't have the length of AB. The 4 centimeter is not representing AD. It is representing the distance from here to here. So do not confuse that. We do not have the length of AB. We have the area of ABCD, that's 432. The length is X, but then the breadth, let's just take it as AB. Now, if we want to find the length of AB, we do understand that we would need to divide by X both sides. Then our AB would have to be 432 over X, right? So this would be representing the length of AB. So 432 over X centimeter. Remember, X is an unknown there. So let's fill it in here, 432 over X. Now, remember what we are supposed to get is the total area of the page, meaning the bigger rectangle here. Right. Now, obviously, this is still a rectangle. So we still say this is our length from here to here. And then this here is our breadth. Now, we need to get the total distance or the total length of this side here. So that means it would be the 4 here, and then the 4 here, and then the X. Right. Now, when we add all this together, so let's now calculate area of page will now be indicated as length multiplied by breadth. The length will be the 4 plus X plus 4, which will have to give us X plus 8, right? And then what about the breadth? This would be the 3 centimeter here, and then the 3 centimeter here. Plus this 432 over X. Remember, this is the same distance as the AB here. So the 432 over X. Now having to add all of this would give us the breadth. So this would be 432 over X. And then obviously the 3 and 3, they will give us 6. Right. So, okay, at this point, let's just FOIL. X multiplied by 432 over X. The X and the X will cancel out. We are left with 432. And then the X multiplied by 6, there will be 6X. Now again, the 8 multiplied by 432 over X. Now the 8 will have to multiply with the 432, which will give us the 3,456 over X. And then lastly, we have to take the 8 multiplied by 6, which will then give us 48, right? Now, having to indicate this, will then say area in terms of X will have to be 3,456 over X. Now, we are just rearranging it and writing it in the desired form, then plus 6X. Now, the 48 will come from saying 432 plus 48. Then this will give us 408. And just like that, you have shown that the total area of the page is given by this equation. Now, a lot of people might struggle to get this question here. So as it is always proven, a lot of students, they struggled with the first question now, and then them struggling with the first question, they just leave this question altogether. But then once your questions are set out in this trend, realize that you can still use this area here to simply get your free marks. This 9.2 here, you can simply get it without having to show this. You just simply take that equation that you were supposed to prove and then use it to find your minimum or your maximum values. Then this is how you would do it. So this is AX is equals to 3, 4, 5, 6 over X plus 6x plus 4/8. So we are just taking the equation. And then at this point, we want to prepare our equation for derivation. So making sure that the x there is not a denominator, it goes to the numerator, because remember, we cannot derive with our variable on the denominator. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, and then x to the exponent of 1, then plus 6x plus 4/8. Now at this point, you want to derive, you say a prime x is equals to, when you derive here, this multiplies that, it's negative 3, 4, 5, 6, x to the exponent of negative 2 when you subtract 1, and then plus 6. But we know that a prime x must be equal to 0 for minimum value. So either for the minimum or the maximum value, because those ones, according to your cubic functions, they represent the turning points, the stationary points. So we know that that's where our gradient is equal to 0. So we are still using that concept in answering these questions. The fact that at that point, the gradient will be equal to 0 at minimum and maximum point. Right, so that's negative 3, 4, 5, 6, x to the exponent of negative 2, and then plus 6 is equal to 0. Right, so we just took the expression for a prime x equated to 0. Now let's solve. We will have negative 3, 4, 5, 6, and then let's just go ahead and write this with positive exponents. So this will be x squared positive is equals to negative 6. Now if we can multiply both sides by negative 1, obviously we're going to have this 2 as positive, and then it's equals to 6. This point we can just swap these ones here, and then we're going to end up with x squared is equals to 3, 4, 5, 6 over 6. Then if we are looking for x, square both sides. Now we know that if you put something in a square root, a number in a square root, it comes out as plus or minus. But then since we are dealing with length, we know that we cannot have our x as a negative value. It should always be positive. So here, note that the x must always be greater than 0. So therefore, we will take the positive. If we put this in a square root, it becomes 24. So that's 24 centimeters. And just like that, we have solved that question for a total of 6 marks. So again, pay attention that it is possible for you to solve the next question without having to necessarily prove the first question there. So you can still walk out with your 50%. And remember, the most important thing when it comes to exams is you need to collect as much marks as possible. So every chance you get with the question, collect as many marks as you possibly can. Right. So do not leave any mark unattended. Okay, so with all that being said, guys, please press the thumbs up button if you've enjoyed the lesson and then you found it helpful. And if you've been watching the videos and haven't subscribed yet, please smash that subscribe button. But most importantly, please share the link with your friends and classmates so that they may also find assistance. Remember, do not be selfish. We are winning as a team.